Hello there. This is an appeal to the Republicans, the Republican Party, and our Republican legislators in the state of Virginia. It's an appeal, but it's also, I'm kind of questioning you and calling you out. Alright? Now, I saw a post from Representative or Delegate Mike Watson, and he says, and this was on Facebook, he says perhaps I assume he means Governor Northam, should take a look at Virginia Code first, and he points to Virginia HB 20, which was passed in 2012. He says Delegate Tony Wilton and I patroned this bill in 2012 so that no one could declare an emergency in an effort to prohibit citizens from exercising their Second Amendment rights, and it was signed into law on March the 1st of 2012. I want to read this bill in part. It's 3 pages, but I'm going to read the relevant. It says, an act to amend and reenact 44-146.15 of the Code of Virginia relating to emergency services and disasters, constitutional rights. Now, I'm reading off of my laptop because I have the bill pulled up here. So that's what I'm looking at. But it says, be it enacted by the General Assembly of Virginia that 44-146.15 of the Code of Virginia is amended and reenacted as follows. Nothing in this chapter is to be construed to limit, modify, or abridge the authority of the governor to exercise any powers vested in him under other laws of this Commonwealth, independent of or in conjunction with any provisions of this chapter. That's one. And then when you go down the numbers, it should be prefaced with that nothing in this chapter is to be construed to. So number 2, nothing in this chapter is to be construed to interfere with dissemination of news or comment on public affairs, but any communications facility or organization, included but not limited to radio and television stations, wire services, newspapers, may be required to transmit or print public service messages furnishing information, instructions in connection with actual pending disaster. Number 3, nothing in this chapter is to be construed to empower the governor, this is the key one, any political subdivision or any other governmental authority to in any way limit or prohibit the rights of the people to keep and bear arms, as guaranteed in Article 1, Section 13 of the Constitution of Virginia, or the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, including the otherwise lawful possession, carrying, transportation, sale, or transfer of firearms, except to the extent necessary to ensure public safety, any place or facility designated or used by the governor, any political subdivision of the Commonwealth, or any other government entity as an emergency shelter, or for the purpose of sheltering purposes. Effect, number 4, the jurisdiction or responsibilities of police forces, firefighting forces, units of the armed forces of the United States, or any personnel thereof when on active duty, but state, local, and inter-jurisdictional agencies for emergency services shall place reliance upon such forces in the event of declared disasters or to interfere with the course of conduct of a labor dispute, blah, blah, blah. All right? What this delegate, Mike, let me find him again, Watson is trying to say is that the governor does not have the authority to stop people from carrying if he declares an emergency, a state of emergency or whatever, okay? What I would say, first of all, I want to preface this with the fact that I don't know what Delegate Watson or Delegate Wilt are doing. But I know that I'm not seeing anything on the news that says that anybody is doing anything but maybe standing in the General Assembly or whatever it's called down in Norfolk or down in Richmond and saying, well, I'm against this, fellas, and then go, there's nothing more I can do. They control everything, and I did the best I could. That is not acceptable. You, if you're a part of the Republican Party of Virginia and a legislator, okay, it's your job to defend my rights and the rights of every other citizen in this state. It's not your job to talk and use flowery language or even brusque and big upset and angry vitriol and language to oppose something. If the governor of this state is doing things that are not legal, and we know this is a violation of the Constitution of Virginia. This is a violation of the Constitution of the United States. When you're talking about just across the board taking away people's rights like this, okay, we know this is not lawful, this thing that he's doing. So look, stop running your mouth in the well of the General Assembly or whatever it's called. I'm not good on the technical terms, but where it is that you guys are supposedly making law, okay, stop standing up and saying you're against it and then going, well, I did the best I could. Grow a spine. Do something legal. File suit. You're a politician, okay? You should know how the game is played. You can be more aggressive than what you are. Look, you're going to either stop them or something bad is going to happen. And if you can honestly, consciously walk away after something horrible happens over this and say, well, I did everything I could, when all you did was stand up in front of a bunch of your buddies in Richmond and say, well, we don't like this, and then go, well, the Democrats control everything and there's nothing we can do, then you're a spineless coward. All right? And you don't deserve the office that you hold. Now, and that's the fact of the matter. Look, like I said, I don't know what you're doing, but I do know you're not doing stuff like that. Stop this. You have the ability, you have the authority, you can fight this. If you fight this with everything you have and it still goes that way, at least your conscience is clear. But you're not clear with me, not if you're going to just sit there and speak words and do nothing to protect my rights. And I can promise you, I'll remember what you did not do when it comes time for me to cast a vote the next time. All right? People wonder why the Republican parties didn't come out and vote, because we got spineless people in the Republican Party that won't do anything but talk about stuff and argue. The Democrats in Richmond, they're done arguing. They're done talking. They don't care what you say. They're going to do whatever they want to do. And if you, as our elected officials, don't stand up and strongly fight against this, then the only way to stop them is the people. And you don't want that. I don't want that. I got a wife and a daughter and a decent life. I don't want all that destroyed. But we're coming to a crossroads and they're pushing every button they can. And you guys are just going, well, we're doing everything we can. No, you're not. Do better.